Welcome to the Traditional Way Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Shumway. This podcast is brought to you by the Martial Arts Center Network, where you can find all things martial arts related on our social media pages and on our website at www.mainternetwork.com, where you can catch up on all the open circuit news with Inside Scoop, catch a movie review with Fist, Kicks, and Flicks, or find out what's happening in the Jiu-Jitsu and MMA worlds on the Winner's Circle, plus all of our sport karate videos from tournaments. And now we are introducing the new way to catch up on all of our content with the main app. Our team is in the final stages of production that will change how you watch sport karate content moving forward. We are currently anticipating the launch of the app on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store in mid-September. Stay tuned with the network for more details coming very soon. On this episode, I'm going to break down the World Game results. Now, the World Games is ran by the International World Games Association, and it includes all sports that are not currently included in the Olympics, but are recognized by the Olympic Committee, which is why both WKF and WACO were included in the World Games this year. The World Games also included 34 sports this year and was held in Chengdu, China. The qualification for the Games was determined by the top 3 places at last year's World Championships, followed by the highest ranked athletes in the WKF rankings as of March 31st of this year, and 1 spot reserved for the host nation, with the caveat of no more than 1 country per division. Now, the format for this event was a round-robin match with 2 pools of 4 athletes, followed by the top 2 from each pool moving forward for the semifinals match, with an athlete from matching up with an athlete from the other pool. Then the bronze medal matchup between the losers of the semifinal matches and the winners of the semis moving into the gold medal final match. Let's take a look at how each division played out. As we start in the minus 50 kilogram division, where Pool A saw Yamani Lahansa, Sarah Bomanyar, Emma Scardelli, and Armina Perfetto facing off against each other, with Scardelli taking the second seed out of the pool, winning 2 of her matches, and Bomanyar winning all 3 of her matches, outscoring her opponent 20-7 in the pool. Pool B saw Jun Hu Wang, Celia Oiken, Moldir Jangerbay, and Yorgela Salazar, who just returned from knee surgery and may still have some rust to knock off as she failed to secure a match, which is a surprise as she normally is in the medal rounds at most events that she attends. Oiken and Jangerbay came out of the pool even though they were in a 3-way tie that included Wang, but it all came down to world rankings to determine the winner, and Wang was the odd woman out. Now we move on to the semifinals, where Bomanyar defeats Oiken 4-3 and Jangerbay beat Scardelli 3-2, setting up the final between the world number 1 and 7 that was uneventful as it ended in a 0-0 tie. Bomanyar was awarded the decision. Scardelli secured the bronze medal for the division. Pool A of the minus 55 kilogram division had Mia Baich, Rina Kota, Hana Deshe, and Yuchin Wei in the division. And shockingly, it was Wei who'd come out on top of the pool as the number 36 ranked fighter won all 3 of her matches to advance. Baich secured the second spot. In Pool B, had some intrigue as Yvette Goranova pulled out of the event at the last minute, and there's no reason why. I have no reason as to why at this time. Hopefully we'll find out later on. The 3 left in the pool was Tuba Yankin and Zelika Taruga and Vanilla Messes, who all went 1-1 in the pool, with a tie-breaking system having to be used, where Taluga would come out as the lower seed and Meneses would come out as the top seed. The final 4 saw Taluga beat Wei 4-3 and Baich defeat Meneses 7-3, setting up a final between the world number 1 and number 2, where Baich would secure the gold by a score of 3-1. Meneses takes home the bronze. In the minus 61 kilogram division, Pool A had Li Gong, Sahara Shimada, Waka Maju, and Fatma Yenin in the brackets, where Li Gong took the top spot going 3-0 in the round, and Shimada took the second spot, with her only loss coming to Gong in a 2-1 match. Pool B had Astusha Galashanad, Nurisin Ali, Asel Kane, and Laura Sever, where the world number 1 Kane would get knocked out, with her best match being a 0-0 tie with Sever. Galashanad and Ali come out of this pool as the top 2 seeds. In the semifinals, Gong defeats Ali 4-0, and Galashanad gets disqualified against Shimada, setting up a final match where Gong would win the gold by a score of 5-1 to shine in front of the home crowd. Ali would secure the bronze medal. Pool A of the minus 68 kilogram division went just about the way everyone would have expected. The athletes in this pool were Irina Zaretska, Hadir Hendi, Seiko Zafania, and Cao Lee, with Zaretska and Hendi coming out as the top two seeds from this pool. Pool B, Talia Sombre didn't make it out of the elimination pool as some would have expected. She and Ada Eltamur both lost to Alana Corsi and Tsubasa Kama, who would emerge out of this pool as the top two seeds. In the semifinal match, it was Zaretska over Kama by the 8-point spread, and Hendi gets disqualified versus Corsi, who was leading the match prior to the disqualification. Setting up a final that we love to see in this division, Zaretska versus Corsi, where Elena took the match 3-0, which historically has gone in Irina's way more than not. But since Irina's maternity leave, it has been Corsi taking over the division as the top spot. Did she just make her point prior to the WKF Worlds this year? Tsubasa Kama would secure the bronze medal match. The over 68 kilogram division was the only female Kumite division where the top 5 in the world were present. Pool A saw Nancy Garcia and Kiki Zhu get knocked out by the top seeds of Cleo Ferracuti and Sofia Burtselva. Same outcome in Pool B as Mena Okila and Hannah Sullivan get eliminated by Maria Garcia and Joanna Kinnear. Setting up the finals where the top 4 in the world would face off against each other, and both being close matches. Starting with Kinnear over Ferracuti by a score of 5-4, and Garcia beating Burtselva 2-1. Setting up a rematch for the final where Garcia and Kinnear would face each other for the second time. With Garcia already getting the win early in the day, this time it was Kinnear who scored a punch and a kick to the body, leading 3-0 for the match. When the fight would end, because Garcia accumulated too many penalties and was disqualified from the match, giving the win to Joanna. Ferracuti would win the bronze medal. In the female kata division, Pool A had all top 10 ranked athletes in the pool, with Sakura Kakomai and Tariana D'Onofrio would be beaten out by Fatima Dastak and Maho Ono. Pool B was no surprise as Yiwu Tao and Valentina Machado were outclassed in the pool by Paola Lozano and Grace Lau. Set up the final 4 where Ono and Lozano would have to face off with both of them choosing to do Chibana no Kusanku. That would see Ono come out victorious by 1.9 points. And in the second match of the round, Lau would put on performance of Paparin that would outshine the Chetnara Kusakana of Dastak by 3 full points. Setting up another Ono-Lau matchup, which we are becoming so accustomed to seeing at this point, and we can place bets that they will face each other in the final at every event they go to. This time it was a showdown of Chetnara Kusanku as both competitors looked to find different katas to face off against each other. And once again, it was Lau taking the gold, as she won the final by a score of 45.3 to 43.6, as Grace put up the highest kata score of the event with this performance. The bronze medal went home with Lozano. The men start out with a newcomer in the minus 60 kilogram division as Kaiser Alpespe drops down in weight to compete in the lighter category in Pool A of this event. The number 15th ranked fighter didn't have any better odds, however, as he and Li Lei Shi got taken out by the higher ranked athletes as Abdullah Shaban and Christos Zenos take the top 2 spots out of this elimination pool. In Pool B, we saw Abdel Gina and Angelo Crevenzo fall to the world number 1 Hiromu Hashimoto, who took the second seed, to world number 3 Irae Samdan, who squeaked out the top seed in the round. The semifinal matches started with Hashimoto defeating Zenos 8-4 and Samdan beating Shaban 6-1. Setting up a rematch from earlier in the day, as this time it would not be close as Samdan pulled out the victory 12-2. Zenos secured the bronze medal by Senshu in a close match. Huge upsets in Pool A of the minus 67 kilogram division, as the 67th ranked Fahad Al-Khatami wins 2 of the matches in the elimination pool to take the top seed. Joining him was Saeed Obaya. The other 2 fighters, Didar Amirali and Phoenicius Figuera, did not advance, but both did pick up 1 win apiece in the pool, as this was the most contested of the day. Pool B had a clear winner in Abdel Al-Masafa, as he won all 3 matches, but the second seed came down to Yugo Kosaki, Nenad Dolovic, and Omer Ozer, where Kozaki pulled it out with some lackluster fights as he ended 2 fights with no score being accomplished by either fighter. The final 4 matches started with Kozaki putting an end to Al-Khatami's run by a score of 3-1, and Obaya would outclass Al-Mustafa 8-2, setting up the world number 1 versus number 2, where Obaya would pull out a close win by a score of 4-3. Al-Mustafa secured the bronze medal. Now, minus 75 kilogram divisions had some close matches in Pool A, where Andriy Zaplitny and Jumbo Zhu couldn't get it started early. Even though they both picked up a win apiece, it was not enough as the top-ranked athletes Yusei Sakimoto and Enzo Berthin pull out the top seeds to advance. In Pool B, Mitchell Durham and Karali Harspataki fall in the round to Abdallah Abdelaziz and Nurkana Ajikhanov, where we saw Ajikhanov beat Abdelaziz by Senchu in their match. Now, we are not used to seeing Abdelaziz lose, so this got everyone's attention early. We were shocked again in the first match of the semis, where Berthin would beat Abdelaziz in the first fight 5-3. Now, I can't remember the last time we saw Abdelaziz lose twice in the same event, so this was a big shock to everyone, as he usually is the most dominant fighter within the WKF. The second fight of the semis, Sakiyama defeats Ajikhanov 11-3, setting up a final where Berthin would defeat Sakiyama 3-1. And we'd expect nothing less after beating the best fighter in the division. You better go on to win the gold. Abdelaziz would win the bronze medal match. Pool A of the minus 84 kilogram division, Piqui Duan has the event of his career, as a 362nd ranked athlete takes out number 4 Edrin Gasparian, world number 6 Valery Chobatar, and world number 3 Rikido Shimada, which no one saw coming, since prior to this event, he had only ever won one match in his WKF career. Shimada took the second spot out of that pool. Pool B was Konstantinos Mastrogiannis and Rob Timmermans struggled to get it out early, as they would fall to Ivan Kvesic and Mohamed Al-Jafari in that round. The semifinals started off with Duan coming back down to reality as Kvesic beats him 10-2 and Al-Jafari beating Shimada 6-1. In the final, Al-Jafari shows why he's the world number 1, as he wins the gold by a score of 4-0 in a very controlled and paced fight that Al-Jafari set the action to his liking. Shimada did end up taking home the bronze medal for the division. In the over 84 kilogram division, Pool A was the most stacked elimination pool of the event, with all top 10 ranked athletes in the pool. Mehdi Falali and Rob Timmermans came up short, however, against Angelo Kvesic and Rizvan Talibov, who both emerged out of this elimination round. Pool B saw Ang Zhai and Edward Sajlian fall short of advancing to the semis, as they were beat out by Saleh Albazari and Taha Mahmoud. In the final four, the first match saw Talibov beat Albazari 4-0 and Kvesic edge out Mahmoud 6-5, which is a big win for Kvesic since he hasn't beat Mahmoud in a very long time. With the final set, it was Talibov over Kvesic as he won the match 4-0, winning his first gold medal of 2025. Albazari would take home the bronze medal, shutting out Mahmoud, who would go home empty-handed for the first time since 2021, which brings his 19-event medal streak to an end. The one country per athlete restriction really stood out in the male kata division, as Japan was limited to one athlete. The rest of the top 10 ranked competitors had to sit this one out. Let's start in Pool A, where Kangwei Wang and Tariq Cook were outmatched with the world number 2 Ariel Torres, who took the top spot out of the pool. But the second spot, what was everyone was talking about, 16-year-old Adam Ilithi had a great showing in the pool, taking the second seed out of this round. In Pool B, everyone would be competing for the second seed, as Kakuro Nishiyama secured the top spot with ease. Roman Herka and Anthony Vu gave it their all, but fell short to Alessio Giannami, who would advance. The semifinals started off with Giannami's performance of Unsu getting beat out by the Ohan Dai of Torres by 1.7 points. The second match saw the youngster Ilithi's performance of Gankaku get destroyed by Nishiyama's Seisan by 2.9 points, setting up the final we're all getting used to seeing, as the world number 1 and number 2 would face off against each other once again. This time, Torres chose Anand Dai as he searches for the right kata to take down Nishiyama's patented Chibana no Kusanku. Even though Ariel came up short once again, he is reducing the margin that he is losing by, this time coming within 0.8 points. So the improvement in his performance is coming along this year, as he is no longer losing by full point margins. Giannami would win the bronze medal. One thing that I'm not a huge fan of is the host nation delegated athlete. Now, I understand that the host nation wants to have someone in the division to sell to the home country. However, it takes away from athletes that deserve to be at these events. China was allotted 11 athletes that only qualified because the World Games were in Chengdu. The exception to this is Li Gong, who is top ranked and proved that she should be there since she won her division. But the other 10 divisions had athletes that should have been there and weren't because of the host nation exemption. Now listen, I get the reason behind it, and I understand that it applies to every country that hosts. But I'm saying it shouldn't be the rule, especially when you're only highlighting 8 of the top athletes per division. It should be the best in the division, especially when the WKS is fighting to get back into the Olympics. So you need to put your best foot forward and highlight your best athletes, not 7 great athletes and one that's going to be beat by everyone there. And that goes to the crowd watching as well. Do you think the Chinese fans want to have 7 athletes come in and destroy their local athletes in front of the home crowd? I don't get it. And I hope that this goes away and something that these games really consider differently. But one thing for sure, 2025 has to be the year of Grace Lau. Coming into this season, there was still some back and forth between her and Maho Ono, but after Lau's loss to Ono at the start of the year, she hasn't looked back, and she has went on to win every matchup since, bringing her current gold medal streak to 5 events. Now, this is even more impressive because they match up at every event they compete at. Obviously, they see each other in the Premier League, but they are also from the same continent, so Lau has to go through Ono to secure her Continental Championship as well. Now, it's easy to say with her performances this year that not only has she taken the world #1 spot by a large margin, she is now the new kata queen within the WKF. She's on the top of her game, and she's the one that everyone is gunning for right now. The question remains, how long will she wear the crown? And with that, I want to thank you guys for watching another episode of The Traditional Way. Join me on the next episode where I'll bring you the results from both the Pan American Youth Championships and the Pan American Games. Also, join me at the Amerikick Internationals in Atlantic City this weekend, where I'll be there in attendance promoting the main app and following the action. Till then, continue to support the Martial Arts Inner Network by liking and sharing all of our content. Till next time, guys.